All right, so my name is Evelsizer. I work with Northeast Iowa Resource Conservation and Development. And my story with water quality really started when I was a kid because I really enjoyed the outdoors and I like to hunt and fish. And so, kind of my whole aim in life has been dedicated to natural resources and, things that we can do to protect those. And so that's kind of how I entered into this career path and started working with water and water quality. So I was in a program called Envirothon in high school, which is an environmental competition testing your knowledge of natural resources, and then went to school at South Dakota State University in South Dakota, in Brookings, South Dakota, and studied geography and GIS and communications and biology. So, but a lot of that, so what that's allowed me to do is bring sort of a different perspective to sort of the water quality, working in watersheds and things like that, because one thing you do in geography is you change scales a lot. You're looking at things at at a very focused scale all the way up to even a global scale, so, and everything in between. So that's kind of, I think, where my background in geography has helped me sort of realize you have to look at the big picture, but also down to the detail level when addressing these things. I had the opportunity to move back to, I'm from Decorah, which is a pretty special part of the state in the driftless region. And so, I've always wanted to get back to that area because, it's a pretty unique place and there's a lot of opportunities there, for outdoor recreation that are really, really unique for Iowa. And so if the opportunity ever arose to come back there, and sure enough in 2013 it did. So I took a job and have been there ever since, trying to find different ways that we can work on our natural resources in this area. One of the jobs I had before I started working in Northeast Iowa was I worked for the USGS, and we worked with satellite data quite a bit. And if you look at a satellite image of green vegetation, of natural vegetation during the months of April and May, there's this giant brown swath across the entire center of the U.S. And so that's kind of my goal, for career-wise, is that, if we can get to a point where that brown swath no longer exists. In other words, our fields are green from, March and April, as soon as we start to lose snowmelt, to the fall when, and late fall when snow falls again. If we can have green vegetation on the ground throughout the entire state, throughout the entire Midwest, during that entire period, all these issues that we're talking about with water quality and flood mitigation and all of those things, they start to become pretty simplistic and hopefully even go away. So that's kind of my career goal in terms of what do I hope to accomplish, and what drives me is someday seeing, green vegetation on the landscape year-round, like it would be in a natural system. The best part about what I do is that it's never the same, so I don't do the same thing very often, but the coolest thing I think about my job is to work with individuals and work with particularly individual farmers, and see the innovations that they come up with when they're faced with a problem. And so, anything I can do to make that easier or assist along the way is the kind of the best part of my job, is seeing people grab an idea and then go for it, and then see them adjust and make things happen and make things better, and that's what drives them, and that's what drives me, is to help them do that. So water quality in Iowa is, it's really a polarizing issue, right? So we've had, it's divided politically, it's divided between sectors of urban and rural. It's divided a lot of different ways in terms of how we talk about water quality. And what I would want people to know about water quality is that, we all need to drink water, we all need clean water to live, and we all live in a watershed, and everybody can do something, no matter where you live or what you're doing. So everybody can do something in some facet of their life to make water quality better in Iowa. And whether you live in a city, you can put in lots of different ways to rain gardens and best management practices to absorb water quality, water in your small urban yard, or if you're a farmer that has thousands of acres, you can do things to impact it, and that's what it's going to take. We have pretty poor water quality in the state on average, but there are signs that, we can make adjustments. Behind me is a stream that, based on the land management around it, now has trout, and, that's a pretty cool thing to see. The natural reproduction of trout, just based on alterations in land management. So that's something that, anybody can take up and work on themselves, and it's going to take a group effort to make things better.